Can people in the last row hear me out? No? If you can't hear me, why would you say no? If you can't hear me, yeah. So, my name is Haidar Ali. I would want all of you to look at me, please. It would not distract me so that I could present. So I would like to thank to Anil sir first of all, because it's a wonderful opportunity. That's how we learn, that's how we grow. And my presentation is going to be about observation technique. So observation, when we talk about observation, simply what comes to our mind? Can anyone tell me what comes to our mind when we think about simply about observation? You can't think of anything when I say the word observation? None of you can't think of anything? What do you think? So, okay, I'll tell you. Where is it? Okay, so generally when we are speaking about observation in casual terms, we don't have any specific region, like we are just seeing things normally. As I'm viewing you right now, I'm just looking at you. I don't have any purpose. It's a passive process, right? But when I have an intention to get out of something from this class, it means that I have a purpose, which means I can use it, the data that I'm getting out of seeing you, I can use it for research, right? So as I've written, observation means viewing or seeing. Most of such observations are just casual and have no specific purpose, but observation as a method of data collection is different from such casual viewing. How is it different? What is observation in research? So when we say research, it's systematic, right? But when we are talking about observation in research, it would be systematic, watching systematic things, listening and recording stuff of behavior or any event or phenomena or whatever is happening around you in a natural setting. So which means when I will look at you intentionally, intuitively, and I'll write those things and interpret those things in my own words, then it would be a observation in research, right? And it is also the way that I am gathering the first hand data, because it's face to face, right? Whenever I am looking at you, it's happening in direct mode, unfiltered of course, and information about what's happening, providing insights into real time occurrence. Of course it is happening in the real time, right? So there is a slight difference between observation method and observation technique. So when we say observation method, it's a method, right? Method is a overall methodology of a process, and technique is basically I have written it here also, right? A specific method used to gather data through direct observation. That is observation technique. On the other hand, observation method is the overall approach of using observation to collect and analyze data. I have added some definition. You can watch these later. But what is the importance of observation in research? So it provides real world data without artificial influence, right? When we will interact with each other, we will get real world data, right? And uncovers patterns, behaviors or trends. Of course, when we are observing things, we are uncovering a lot of patterns, whatever we are doing in our daily life. So we uncover those because we interpret the meaning. And behaviors of course, and trends and phenomena whatsoever. Complements other methods like survey or experiments. Examples: ethnography studies cultural behaviors through observation. Ethnography is in-depth study of any cultural things that are happening in a society. It is also called participant observation, ethnography. It's a sociological term, so we don't need to focus on it because my core background is sociology, so that's why I've added it. Characteristics. So it's the easiest method, of course, because we don't have to do anything. We just have to watch people and look at them and collect the data, right? And write everything down, whatever we see. Social behavior is studied without any control. We don't have to control the situation when we are observing things. Right now I am looking at you, I'm not controlling you, right? I'm just looking at you and getting the whatever responses you are giving, although you haven't given any response. In this, the social behavior is studied without any control. We study the behaviors as it is, and that's why it is known as natural observation method. So of course It is very important because we study things as it is, as they are. So we can call it thing in itself. We don't have to change it, because otherwise we will be biased if we would, collect data from you and we would change it with our own subjective biases, then it would be biased, right? So we have to keep the things as they are. Now types. So participant observation is basically something when you become the part of the community wherever you are following this method. You become the part of the community or the phenomena or the group wherever you are conducting your study. So I have added the example of William Fortwhite. He has written this book called Street Corner Society, in which he does a participant observation in Italian American slum in Boston. So what he observes is social structure, group dynamics and leadership in a gang and neighborhood life. So basically he sees what is happening in slums in Boston, and the insight that he finds is that community for over 3 years integrating with local youth to understand how informal social structure operated, revealing what outsiders saw as disorder was actually a highly organized system. So what he finds out of this study is that people who says that they presume about these people, Italian American slum, that they are very disorganized. But when he really studies it through observation method, he finds out that it's the other way around. He finds out that what outsiders saw as disorder was actually highly organized system. Now the non-participant observation, it's the opposite. No, not the completely opposite, but you do not become the part of it. Basically, you observe things from distance, right? I have taken another example of Erving Goffman. He is an American sociologist. He writes this book called Behavior in Public Spaces, in which he follows this non-participant observation method. What he observes, social spaces like waiting rooms, sidewalks and elevators, because these are the only things that can be observed through distance, right? So he studies these things. So face-to-face interaction, he studies how people are presenting themselves in their daily life, right? So we usually see these things where? In social settings, like in classrooms maybe, or wherever we see a wedding function happening, or maybe any social gathering which is not so formal. So he finds out that people in everyday setting to develop his theory of dramaturgy. On the basis of this study, he gives his theory of dramaturgy, which basically means how we act in our daily life. We put on a mask and we keep playing the drama that we have inside us. Okay, so how people perform in social life using gestures, postures and etiquette. Like right now maybe I'm conscious, so I'm behaving in a particular way, right? But maybe whenever I'm sitting with you guys, so I would my gestures would be different totally. Now direct observation. This is also the part of observation. A non-participant method where the researcher watches behavior in real time without interaction, often using a checklist or field notes. So direct observation, which is happening directly. We are watching the people in real time and writing them down, whatever notes we have, whatever we are seeing, how people are interacting, maybe directly. So yeah, watching a classroom without participating. Like I have asked the question initially, but you did not respond. So I noticed that nobody did, right? And some people were bugging me they were even hearing my voice, but still they said that they couldn't hear my voice. So yeah, that may be the example. Indirect observation involves the physical presence of the observer, and the recording is done by mechanical, photographic or electronic devices. They use evidence or traces left behind. So already recorded data that we have, for example on YouTube, on Twitter, on all these social platforms, we find the data and we get the study material from those sources, and that comes under indirect observation. Example, analyzing social media posts, Facebook, Twitter, etc., and looking at graffiti or posters. When we go into the street, we look a lot of posters and graffiti arts that can also be seen as indirect observation. Controlled observation, it's very simple, easy. which can be performed in a laboratory, right? Basically, it happens in the department of botany or zoology, people who are studying plants and their studies. Controlled observation, the observation does not plan in advance, but this is related to day-to-day happenings and socio-cultural problems. It studied some of our life situations. Yeah, it's very easy, you can just understand it by reading only. Advantages of observation method, because it is happening in natural setting, so we get the real data immediately by interpreting the things. Useful for individuals as well as groups. Yeah, we can perform it on individuals as well as on the groups. Immediate detection of problems. When we are studying things happening in real world, we can immediately detect what is the problem, right? Because we are looking at them with our eyes. Most direct measure of behavior. Yes, provides direct information. Disadvantages can be less accuracy, of course, because when we are interpreting things with our own capabilities, so we might misunderstand them, right? Slow and laborious. It's very slow. We have to sit for hours to watch someone's patterns, behaviors. So it definitely takes time. Can be biased. Can be biased because we are interpreting things with our own subjective mind. So it can be biased. Maybe you are thinking in your head something else, you are doing something else, and I can interpret things differently, right? Language barrier, because if we are performing it in a tribal society, we won't be understanding their language, even if we are becoming the part of their community, right? So the language barrier will also be there. Risks involved. What if we got caught, if we are non-participant observation and they find out that we are observing them? So definitely they might be offended. Lack of cooperation from people. Yes. So why lack of cooperation? Because sometimes even if you are the part of their community and their group, you are automatically considered outsider. That's why they try to make rapport. They build rapport. Rapport building is there. Conclusion. It's a powerful tool, of course, because we have to understand the real world situation. So I feel it's a very powerful tool, because by observing we can understand a lot of things about people. So yeah, we gain valuable insights using systematic observation to learn and grow. And thank you.
बहुत अच्छा हुआ। इसको लगा लीजिए।